let's talk about bringing, Jurassic Park, bringing back dinosaurs from extinction. Scientists say it is possible. If you can get the DNA of an old skeleton or an ancient insect or something, you can bring these creatures back from the dead. Now, there's talk they're trying to do it with a dodo, last seen in 1662 in Mauritius. The famous big-beaked bird, flightless bird. They're trying to do it with that. They're trying to do it with a mammoth. Now, the filmmaker, the Lord of the Rings director, Peter Jackson, New Zealander, he's worth more than £1 billion. He's made so much money. He's teaming up with a company called Colossal Biosciences. It specialises in this. He wants to bring back a bird called the moa. And the giant moa, if you like. It was the biggest bird, the tallest bird that ever lived. Went extinct 600 years ago. It was 12 feet tall, covered in feathers, and weighed 400 pounds. Massive, great monster of a bird. I wonder why he would want to bring that back, because he'd probably terrify the hell out of most of us with that. But I just think the whole concept of this company and the bringing back from beyond the grave, the extinction grave, if you like, is quite interesting. Let's talk to paleontologist Cassius Morrison. Hello, Cassius.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. What do you think? In terms of, this company, they say they brought back from extinction the dire wolves, and that was immediately questioned and said these aren't really dire wolves, they're crossed with all sorts of other kinds of wolves. But they want to bring back the woolly mammoth, the dodo, and the thylacine, which I think was the Tasmanian tiger, wasn't it? So they want to bring back those. The Tasmanian tiger, I think, went in about 1934, the last one. But anyway, now Peter Jackson is keen to work with this company to bring back this massive giant moa bird. It will be interesting, but why do you think do you think that's a valid project? Do you think we should be doing this sort of thing, or are we playing, with God's work here?
I think that's a really interesting question, and I think we can take it from two angles. One, we do have a current biodiversity crisis with many large animals going extinct, so scientists want to do what they can to help prevent the further sort of biodiversity loss. But I think we also need to recognise that, from my understanding, Colossal is a private company, and what private companies can do may be different, and they may have more funds compared to, say, government. And therefore, even though many would argue, and probably rightly so, funds should go into preserving living creatures that are on the brink of extinction, right, private company can do what they like with their funds within the bounds of the law.
No, I'm not questioning their ability to do this, or their ability to do it as a private enterprise. They can do what they like, I guess. I'm just wondering, sort of, do you have any moral reservations about this?
I think there's quite a lot of sort of moral and ethical issues here. One of them being the world has changed since these animals went extinct. So is there a habitat for them? Secondly, a lot of animal behavior is important for the success of a species. So, for example, elephants have a very matriarchal society, and without the matriarch, elephant herds can really struggle. So if we are bringing back these creatures and there's not sort of the learning behavior, are they really the same creatures? Are they able to survive without, without being in captivity? Do we know about their social behaviors? Because some animals require many individuals to have a functioning, herd or society. So I think there's many issues along these lines where we don't actually have the information or knowledge, and many would deem it be quite cruel to bring back an animal without knowing this. And I think they have some...
Yeah. You see, there's two things worrying me about this. It would be fascinating to see, but, the first thing we'd have to do with this, revived bird is we'd have to keep it in captivity. And I think it would be become a very sad spectacle for a kickoff. So what sort of happens then? And that you said about, keeping it in captivity, that raises moral questions for me, certainly, and I think you as well. But at the point point, let's say that we put them in captivity, it's successful,
Yes, yeah.
and then at a certain point we have to let them out. Now, at that point, people are going to go, hang on a second, there's 12-foot birds running around, they weigh 400 pounds. We're not necessarily that happy about that. That's a problem as well, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so for example, in the UK, there's discussions about like reintroducing lynx and even wolves and animals that we are more familiar with, and many people have concerns about that. Farmers, individuals who live in these areas, and therefore there will also be naturally concerns about the moa. We don't necessarily know how it will interact with humans. We don't know if it would be aggressive or not, and also sort of vegetation, habitats, range. These things could pose a potential threat to both the animals as well as people and even other animals within the ecosystem if we don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the point you made earlier that, Colossal Biosciences are free to do whatever they want. But money in terms of wildlife, I think, should be invested in preserving what we've got, because bringing back animals from extinction, I think it's just really the novelty value, isn't it? And we're not really looking at the ramifications of all of this. If we bring back dodos, which they're trying to do, big beaked birds, that really weren't cut out for the modern world. I mean, what do we do with them? They can't survive. People used to kill other animals or kill them. They're slow. They can't fly. So it just seems that this whole idea, the Jurassic Park concept of bringing back animals, is just for fun and novelty, and that I think is a kind of dubious territory.
Yes, I would agree with many of your points there. I think there is an element of scientific sort of wonder, can we do it? But then at the same time, it does raise all these issues of should we do it? So the ability of can and should are two very different questions.
Absolutely. Cassius, really good to talk to you. Fascinating subject. Thank you so much for your time. That's Cassius Morrison, paleontologist. What do you think about that? Should we, Jurassic Park? So these are animals from 600 years ago. You can keep going back and bring back dinosaurs like in Jurassic Park. You want to do that? I don't know.